For the past like 6 years, I've just been gearing my life towards making it as simple and carefree and just like easy as possible, trying to get to the point where I can work just a couple hours a day.
And so I realized over the past 2 weeks that I've been wrong about almost everything I've been building my life towards for the past couple of years. And this life that I've been building is not actually what I want.
Hope. What's my definition of success? Listening to what your heart says. Standing up for what you know is right while everybody else is. Tucking their tail between their legs. What's my definition of success? Creating something no one else can. Being brave enough to dream big. Grinding when you're told to just quit. Giving more when you got nothing left.
See, I've been like really obsessed about this idea of doing less. It's like my freaking YouTube banner. I've had it written on my arm. I put it on a hat. And that's been my goal for years, to do whatever it takes to be able to, leave my day job, which I was eventually able to do at 24. And then I was spending a bunch of time on YouTube, and I was able to get that to the point where I was working, 1 to 3 hours a day on YouTube. And like everything in my life revolved around this idea of doing less and simplifying as much as humanly possible so that I can have free time to do whatever I want to do. And it worked, unfortunately. Yeah, so for the past like 6 months, I've been pretty depressed. When I thought about the times where I was like most excited about my life and like things were good, I was in a really good mental space. It wasn't like those easy times. It was actually the couple years of like really sacrificing a lot and having this big goal of being able to leave my job and reaching financial freedom and really chasing that and being excited and challenging myself and trying new things. That was when I was happiest in my life, even though it was definitely challenging. It was hard at the time. I was working like 3 different jobs. I gave up TV. I stopped playing video games for the most part. And it was all because like I was chasing this thing that seemed almost impossible, which was like, financial freedom in your 20s. And now I'm kind of there. So like, what happens when you've been chasing these goals, these big goals, and you hit most of them? What do you do with your life? I had to ask myself this question actually a couple of weeks ago of like, okay, you can design your dream week, you can design your dream day. What would you actually want to do? What do I want to do with my day? What does that look like? And I always thought it was less and less and less. And I realized that I was chasing this idea that wasn't really my own. But one idea that is my own is coffee. I really need some. I've realized that some of my own beliefs of who I thought I was and who I wanted to be were not really my own. They were me being associated with ideas of minimalism, what I saw people doing, or like my friends and what I saw them doing. And so we've had this goal, me and my wife, to have a farm, in the next couple of years. And we both realized that like we don't really like gardening. I don't personally love much to do with a farm. I thought it was what I wanted, but as we've done more things at our own house, I realized it's fun to have chickens and stuff and get fresh eggs, but that's not what I actually want. And it's because I asked myself this question of like, what would I actually do if money and status and everything else had nothing to do with anything? What would I do? And I would like one wheel or take my car to an office in town and I would work there. I would make YouTube videos. And so I was like, screw it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start doing some vlogs, kind of like this one. And I actually just made my first one over on a new channel just for like my business side of my life. But I honestly like wish I had heard of these questions and asked them earlier. Actually just like stole them from this podcast. But it was pretty much just asking yourself, if money and status were no object, what would you do? If you actually didn't care what others thought, what would you do? What makes you happy? Does success make you happy? What is success for you if you can't include money and status? And I actually realized for most people, I think a large reason why I know a lot of people who are depressed or just like not really super fulfilled in their life is because they're like okay with the status quo, kind of where I was at, where you found something that's easy, it's safe, it's reliable, maybe it pays the bills, maybe it doesn't, and you get stuck inside of that box. You go to work for 8 hours and then you come home and you're just tired, and you watch some TV to unwind 'cause it's been a bad day, and it's like, you wake up the next morning and whatever. It's easy to go through that life cycle, which is what most people do, and get this depressed feeling. And I've been there multiple times, whether it was at like an actual job or the job that I created for myself. And I realized that there is this power, this excitement, this cure for all of that, which is chasing excitement. And I'm not saying like excitement is the answer, but for me, excitement is like the cure to boredom, to depression. It's the actual journey of, trying to hit those different goals, whatever your goals are. It's not actually hitting them, because then you have to set new goals, but it's actually this journey of self-improvement and this journey of striving for a better life. And that is what I would like at this stage of my life. I need the remote. I don't know where it is, so that light's not gonna turn on, but I did find an apple. I realized recently that I am a provider and a creator. And I always used to think of work as this horrible thing that I just don't want to do, which is, what most people probably think of it. But it turns out that that's actually what, we're made for. And especially me personally, I don't feel great, maybe it's a bad thing, but I don't feel great about my day unless I have accomplished something that is creating, providing, or like making somebody else's life better in some way, or doing something hard that makes my life better, in some way. So instead of trying to like build this extremely simple life and retire and all this stuff, which was my goal for years, it was like to reach financial independence, to do all that by 30, to retire by 30. That is no longer my goal. In fact, there's studies out there that like once you retire, you're much more likely to die sooner. It's especially a thing for men, but it's literally a thing for everybody. When your kids leave the house, when there's big life changes, especially retirement, you lose a lot of like your purpose. And so for me, I've had this new goal, which I've been able to hit a little bit, which is to have financial freedom in order to be able to do things that I actually want to do with my life. It's to be able to have a lot of meaningful work to do, but I could also take a month off and travel, which we just booked like a month of travel coming up. And I now go to an office every day because I, rented some co-working space, but it's because that's what I want to do. I'm not forced to be there, which is cool, but it's because it's something that I actually want to do, and I want to be productive and build things. So if you're in this mindset that once you reach financial independence, once you quit your job, once you do whatever, then you're going to be happy, I would just think about thinking about if you can do that now. I had a job that I didn't like, and I built freedom in the nights and weekends. And even though it was crazy, it was a couple of years of really going all out, it opened up a whole new world of opportunities and the freedom to either work as little as I've been working or to work as much as I want to. And it gets to be on things that I think, at least, actually matter. I don't know if you've ever loved Mondays before, but actually this past week we had a family reunion, and I had 4 days off in a row, which is, I haven't taken days off for a really long time. And Sunday was coming around and I was like, I want nothing more than for Monday to come so I can go and work and build things and create and provide. And if you have never had that, you are just a couple years away from building this life that you don't want to escape from, whether that life is really simple and calm, and if that's what you're into, that's fine. Or maybe you think that's what you're into, but once you get there, you actually want a busier schedule, and you want to be out of your house more, and you want to, start your own company or volunteer your time. So what I'm really focusing on this year is enjoying the process, something that I haven't really done for a while, and then also just focusing on things outside of work. I think a lot of times we get caught in this trap or trying to find our happiness inside of our jobs, inside of our spouses, inside of other things. So I've been trying to spend a lot more time studying my Bible, really trying to have a deeper, more personal experience with Jesus, and just really trying to focus on making sure that everything I'm doing is not just for me, it's not just for money or for notoriety, for anything like that, but it's to provide, and all the things that I talk about, also help people, and also think about not just what's going to help me, a couple weeks from now or a couple years from now, but thinking about the big picture and eternity and stuff. So those are just a couple of thoughts I've had. I'm going to be documenting the entire process of working more, starting these companies, and just living a more fulfilled, happy life on another channel. It's more really just business side of my life. So if you want to check that out, feel free to. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll leave a link to the first vlog I did right here. It's literally just about business. So enjoy.